Hello, I'm Martin Fencka and welcome to another of my Eador Imperium first look videos. In the previous two videos we have covered all the new units that were added to Eador Imperium, and in this video I want to look on the first from the four new heroes. We will do that through the scenarios because so far in this very early version of the game they are only available in these scenarios specifically designed to basically introduce these heroes. Today we are gonna start with these Lotus Isles, and in this scenario we will look on the pilot first of the four new heroes. So let's load the scenario. I'm not gonna play the whole scenario. I'm just gonna load the game. We will have a look on the new hero, check him out, how he's supposed to work, if it's like a support hero or a combat hero, melee, ranged, or if it's a caster. We'll look on some of his abilities because in these scenarios all the heroes start on a bit higher level, and then we are gonna try one quick easy fight so we can look on the hero how he actually looks like on the map. And also in some of these scenarios these heroes already have some of the new units, so we will be able to see how these units look like on the map. Each of these scenarios has some basic description, and then there is a description of the hero, so let's read through that first. Crisis in the Empire struck hard at the merchant states of the Lotus Isles. Rapid decrease in trade pushed the competing island cities to the brink of armed conflict. The patricians of Felhorn, aware of war preparations by Boread Dolan and by their bitter rivals at the neighboring Kandar Rock, have secured the service of the famed dwarven mercenary pilot Tondar. So, we know why we are, or what we are trying to achieve on this scenario. Now when we continue, we can read something about the hero. Tondar is a pilot of an airship capable of crossing great distances over the air. However, there is a number of limitations to sky travel. 1. An airship needs time and plenty of space to take off or land. It cannot land or take off vertically. It needs to be done in the direction of a neighboring province and takes one turn to accomplish. 2. Crossing water and mountains require advanced piloting skills. A pilot can achieve that beginning with level 10 and 20 respectively. 3. A pilot cannot attack fortified provinces from the air, be it enemy capital or a godforsaken distant outpost. Finally, the ability to move the ship over the ground is only accessible beginning with level 10, and it can only be moved at one province per turn, regardless of the hero's mobility value. The two last points also imply that the pilot can only attack enemy fortifications upon reaching level 10 as well. So, from this what I understand is that on the lower levels the hero can move around as any other hero, just from province to province, no big deal, but on higher levels he can actually jump basically or fly over provinces like that, uh, like fly over guarded provinces. This is something I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to see in the actual game, because if you are watching my let's play of Masters of the Broken World, you know what I usually do on every shard. I just grab some land, then I hire guards on the border, make sure that the border is secure, and then I just level my armies behind the border if I decide to do so. And with pilots around, that might not be so effective because pilots just hide under fog of war, get some of the distance they need to take off, jump over your guards, land somewhere in unguarded provinces, and start capturing stuff. And yeah, this can be a lot of fun, especially if you end up in a war against multiple enemies at the same time, if they all have pilots, and suddenly then you have like 2 or 3 crazy pilots running behind your defensive line, capturing your provinces, you can't catch them. So pilot can be a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I understand exactly how it works, but I would say this is the way. And it seems that even water or mountains want to save you once pilots get to higher levels. Often mountains were really good protection against attacks, and was quite effective to make them part of the border, because on that province it was impossible to get through. It's not true anymore, so as I said, pilot can be a lot of fun. Now let's have a look on the hero himself. When we look at him, he is for this scenario on level 7, and he is like a ranged combat slash support hero. Why I'm saying slash support, you will see that when we look on his abilities, you can see that all his abilities are completely new. Not all the heroes have completely new abilities, but Pilot does. For his gear, we can actually read the description and see his limitations. So what can he use? Common items, melee weapons, ranged weapons, light armor, and shields. So no mail armor, no plate armor, and no caster stuff. So it's basically scout limitations. Can move above neutral and enemy land. Can learn pilot skills up to master level 3, which means until level 10 he can't get his skills above level 3, which is the same for all heroes on level 10. If you pick the right spec, you can go above level 3. So that's the basic description, and now we can see his new abilities. These are not all the new abilities, he'll have some more, but these are the abilities that we can see in the start of this scenario. I will play all these scenarios through later. Just right now I don't have that much time, and I'd really like to at least introduce all these new heroes and the new stuff in the game. So we will only go through what we can see here. We are starting with Life Force. Life Force affects the pilot's hit points and stamina. Not a big hero, not the big deal here. Pretty basic. Starting with hit points, stamina, twice the same thing on level 3. 2 hit points and first aid. Still not super huge. The first aid, but on level 5 this actually becomes quite interesting with tireless and poison immunity. The tireless is actually both the poison immunity and tireless are really strong. So level 5 of this skill is super strong. The first 4 really not a big deal, but the 5th one is just crazy strong. Next one we have Shield Bearer. The Shield Bearer skill increases the pilot's defense against physical damage. So defense, range defense, nothing else, just increasing numbers. Interesting that it's +1 to melee defense all the time, and range defense is boosted a bit more later, so it seems that he'll be quite effective against range heavy armies. Then we have Engineering Art. I really like this. There's finally a hero who is focused on war machines. Engineering Art slows down the degradation of pilot's equipment, helps him arrange the sieges efficiently, and allows to repair mechanical troops and boost the ranged attack of war machines. That's the last part. It's huge. So far, the only way how to build an army around mechanized units was basically using dwarves, because it was impossible to heal war machines with anything but dwarven engineer. So at some point your war machines would just break down without repairs. And now we finally have a hero who specializes in like working with siege weapons. I'm not exactly sure how it works when you think about it, how he can transfer like catapults with his airship. But well, I don't care. I'm just happy that we have a hero who can work with siege weapons. For this item where -10% slowly increasing, simply means that we are gonna pay less for repairs, which is actually not that bad, because since the pilot is a ranged hero, his bow, especially high tier bows, will degrade fast and cost a lot, so the reduced price can save quite a lot of money. Then extra siege can be useful, especially if you are fighting multiple heroes. I mean heroes, multiple AIs at the same time, so you don't want to stay sieging capital provinces for like 20 turns. This speeds things up quite a bit, and especially with the siege weapons that you can have, the siege will be almost instant. I'd say like 3-4 turns and the capital is yours if you don't have to wait for the complete destruction of defensive towers. You can probably finish a siege in 1 or 2 turns, and that is really fast. And the third effect, that's what helps our siege weapons, repair 10, so that we are starting or immediately with engineering art we are capable of repairing our siege weapons. Engineer 1, repair 5, engineer 5, repair 5. The repair 5 increases, I think, the amount of hit points that we can repair per turn. I'm not sure about the engineering 1, how that works. Don't remember this ability, so I'm not gonna talk about that. We'll see that when we play through the scenario how exactly it works, but for the basic idea what the engineering art means, I think this is enough. Then we can move to crossbow mastery. The crossbow mastery skill increases the power and range of the pilot's ranged attacks along with his ammo reserve. Ranged attack plus 1, ammo 1 twice, ranged and heavy ammo, that's nice to get the heavy ammo. Ranged attack ammo, and ranged attack armor piercing shot. So basically specializes in attacking armor targets with the heavy ammo and armor piercing, which is quite uh, quite nice. I'm not sure how this will be compared to the scout. I think scout will be better on higher levels or will be able to do more damage. But still, like when you consider how well this hero should be able to support his army, plus still decent ranged attack, I think this hero should be actually quite good. And the last one we have mobility. Mobility increases the pilot's initiative and combat movement speed, along with strategic map movement. And yeah, this is probably what's gonna make the pilot a pain in the ass when you have to fight against him, because already Scout with a high mobility can be a problem if you have to chase him around, and with Pilot who can jump across provinces, might be almost impossible to ever catch him. And you look at that, look at the mobility. It's plus 3 mobility from level ups, extra initiative, so really fast. Hills knowledge. Then we have armor upkeep, speed, again army upkeep, and forced march. So yeah, cheaper army, faster, good at fighting in hills, forest march. So on the map, I mean battle map, he'll be really fast. Looks like fun. I really like this hero. I think it has potential. Just has to be used properly. It may take some time to really figure out how to use him most effectively, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying the pilot. Anything else here? I don't think so. For the purpose of this scenario, he'll be using dwarves and siege weapons. So that's a build that I tried with. I think it was a ranged commander, and I liked it. Now with the pilot, it should be probably even better. So let's quickly change his spells a bit. I just want to grab something like this, and we're gonna do one combat to check how the hero looks like on the battle map, and we finally get to one of the big changes in Eador Imperium, and that's well, we're gonna see that in a minute. Anything else? No, we can just attack undead, or is there anything? Barbarians, Savage Wood, Nomad Steps. Okay, let's attack undead. Doesn't really matter. Uh, Go. Okay, we should win without casualties. Casualties. I don't care about that. It's obvious that we're gonna win without casualties. I'm not going for a tough fight. I just want to show you guys how the battle map looks like. It's actually a nice music for what we can see here, like the dramatic change. Yeah, the map is big. I mean, really big compared to what it used to be. The size of the map used to be 8 by 8, now it's 12 by 12. And I was thinking about what that means. Every time I just got to another unit, I was thinking, oh, this changes this for the unit, and this changes that for this build. And wow, there is a lot. What I would say first is uh, it's possible that they will increase a maximum size of the army, because up until now, uh, since we can only position units on the first two tiles from our side, and we had the width of the battlefield 8 tiles, it was a maximum of 16 units with the hero. Now it is possible theoretically to go up to 24. I don't know if they plan to do that, but that's first thing. Also, with this size, it's not so crowded. If they stick to the maximum size of 16 units, if you have 16 units on each side and the map is 8 by 8, it's really very crowded. Now here, it's actually gives some more room for maneuvering. So I think the value of high mobility units is going to increase, because it will be much easier to kite. If you have like 2 fast units and send them somewhere into the space, then part of the opponent's army will just go after them, and you'll be easily able to stay at distance, keep them occupied while you handle the rest of the army. So it will be much easier to divide the army. This doesn't apply to every fight, of course, but often this is like the difference between victory and loss. Another thing that I can think of is it will be much harder to find cover on the map and like find bottlenecks, because on the map of this size you will need a lot more impossible obstacles to really effectively use the terrain to block the enemy. And there is a lot more that I was thinking about, and we'll probably get to all of this once we really start playing the Imperium, and we will get to these things and realize them while we are playing. Also, what I can say that what I've already tried, the combat takes longer because it takes longer time for the units to get together. And actually, one more thing that I should say that is really important: on a larger map, uh, it will now be a lot more difficult for ranged armies to start the first turn deadly barrage, because they just won't have the range to reach the other side of the map. So uh, no more decimation of the support line across the whole map. So yeah, there are really some things that will change the combat and probably affect some builds that at least I've been using from time to time. As I said, we'll see about this once we really start playing the game and start using proper builds. Here I want to check the hero, so let's move him down, have a look on him. We can't see too much detail even with the maximum zoom, so maybe what we can do is just start the combat, and now we can turn him around. So it's a dwarf with like a huge wrench. I think that's what's he holding in his hand. Crossbow. Yeah, I think he looks pretty cool. Okay, the units that we have are nothing special, so let's quickly go through the combat. Movement 1, is it because of his gear? I actually don't think so. He didn't have any boots that would decrease his movement, and he can't use heavy armor, so I think by default he is actually pretty slow. Well, since he is a ranged hero, it's probably not a big deal. Okay, can we kill some Phillies? We can. The animations are out of sync quite a bit. If I shoot with multiple units too fast, then the target will usually die a long time before all the shooting animations happen. But it's very early access, so hopefully it's gonna be fixed. You can see the unit died while we are still shooting. But, well, I don't think that's a big deal, really. Okay, almost done. I'd like to give the hero some extra kills. Maybe to give him a level up, but I don't think it's possible here. Oh, and here we can see his repair ability. Can we maybe move the ballista closer because it is damaged, so we can see the repair, and it didn't work. Why the hell did not work? I think we have discovered the first bug. Engineer. Neighboring friendly mechanical creatures and war machines capable of shooting receive +1 to their range. Oh, this is engineering. So as he gets higher levels, he increases the attack of the siege weapons. That's cool. Okay, nice. I just don't know why the repair didn't work. Now it healed. It seems to be a bug. I don't think that the healing is supposed to work like one turn later. Let's do this. And let's check. No, we didn't get any level ups. In some scenarios, we will get level ups for the heroes even from easier fights. So it didn't work here, but for some heroes we will see level ups. And I think this will be all for the pilot, at least cover the basics, so we know how he's supposed to work. We have some idea about some of his skills, and we know how he looks like. I kind of like the balloon on the strategic map as well. So yeah, that was the pilot. I hope you like the introduction, and I hope that you're gonna join me for the next part where we're gonna cover another hero. And until then, have a good time. Bye bye.